All right, for this version of the puppet warp exercise, we're actually going to look at creating some typography. But now you can use any sort of object for this. I just found a picture of a stick because, that's what a lot of our letters are made out of. So just like we did before with the wooden doll, first thing you want to do is isolate this object on its own layer. So I'm going to get the quick selection tool. I'm going to draw a selection around the background this time, and you'll see the marching ants going all the way around the outside. So I'm going to make sure I get that white background out of there. Oops, a little too much. Hold down Option or Alt to get the selection as you can. All right, I'm going to go to Select Inverse. So the marching ants around the outside go away. This is just our object selected. And I'm going to copy and paste. Edit, copy. Edit, paste, or Command-C, Command-V. Now you'll see we have this on its own layer. Now I want to get rid of this stick layer on the background layer. So I'm going to select the background, and I'm just going to fill the whole thing with white. So Edit, Fill. From Contents, we'll just choose white. Click OK. All right. So now we have this on its own layer. All right. Now, just like we did before, I also want to convert this to a smart object so it's still editable. I'm going to right-click and go to Convert to Smart Object. Now I can have some fun. So I'm going to Command-T to free transform, and I'm going to rotate it around so I get a vertical one. I'm just going to do some of the letters in my name. And I'm going to use lowercase letters because they have some more curves in it. That's going to make it a little more interesting. All right. So first letter is D. So whenever I reposition this the way I want it, I'll double click to apply the transformation, and then I'm going to duplicate this layer. So to duplicate, you can just go to Layer, Duplicate, or you can just drag the layer to the new layer icon, and it'll make a copy. All right. So now I have this, and I'm going to go to Puppet Warp, Edit, Puppet Warp, and start placing some pins. All right. So click one on each end, and then maybe a couple, let's say 3 in the middle. And then let's just see what we can do. So I'm going to make a lowercase d here. And it works best if you don't try and do too much. You kind of move each pin slowly. Right. I probably actually could have done this with fewer pins. Now, if you want to delete a pin, all you do is just hit delete and it'll go away. All right, I'm going to Command-Z to undo that. So I might actually try that. Try to get rid of this one, and this one, and you can always add more back in. So the idea here is to not warp this too much. Still want it to look relatively realistic. So we'll try that. We'll apply that. Checkbox. Okay. Move that over there. All right. So I could actually probably use this again for the next letter, which would be A. So I'm going to try to layer duplicate. Click OK. Move this over here. Now, if I don't want it to look exactly the same, I could always go to Edit, Transform, and flip vertical. So we get it looking a little bit different, just for fun. Then let's see, what else can I do? I'll grab the straight layer, layer 1, and just keep track of which layer is which. Duplicate that. So for the A, I want this to be a little shorter, but I don't really want it to be too much skinnier. I could free transform it, but in this case, I think I might add a layer mask just for something different. So I'm going to add a layer mask to this layer, and then actually hide part of it. So this is all non-destructive. So I'll give my brush, black is my foreground color, hardness up to 100%, and the brush, let me try this, see how it looks. I'm just going to paint to mask the part that I want to hide, and that looks pretty good. If I wanted to do anything else, I would select back on the layer, so not the mask, but select the layer again, and then I could go to Puppet Warp, If I wanted to curve that bottom just a little bit, let's see how that works. Like that. All right. And then the last letter, I'm going to duplicate this layer. So it's just a matter of duplicating layers and doing what you need to do to them. And in this case, I don't want this part to be curved, so I'm going to double click back on that puppet warp layer and move this back here. Okay. And then for my last layer, I've kind of gotten a mess of my layers now, but just go back to that original layer 1 if you need to. We'll apply that. And so layer 1, duplicate it one more time. And bend this one around a little bit. So edit puppet warp. Click once up here, once down here, once in the middle. Let's see how this looks. So I think I'm going to mask part of this layer now. Alright, so we'll apply that. Now add a layer mask. Get my brush with black still as a foreground. And just kind of make it look realistic as possible. Mask that out. Move it over. There you go. There's my name. And if I want to adjust that again, just double click on it, grab this pin, move it out. Alright, that looks pretty good. So you can do this with your name, with my name, however you want to. Just get some experience using this puppet warp feature. It takes a little getting used to, just kind of like using the pen tool or something like that. But it's a really useful tool and it's really fun beyond that. So hope you enjoyed it. Turn both of these in by the last day of the unit, and I'll see you next time.